Hey guys, I'm here with an English lesson for you. Today we're going to learn about what the exchange rate is. The exchange rate is the rate at which one currency can be exchanged for another. It's like a conversion factor that allows us to compare the value of different currencies. For example, let's say we have 100 US dollars. We want to know how much that's worth in euros. Well, if the exchange rate is 1-to-1, then 100 US dollars is also equal to 100 euros. But if the exchange rate is 1-to-2, then 100 US dollars is equal to 50 euros, because you would have to divide it by 2 to get the equivalent in euros. The exchange rate is determined by a number of factors, including the relative strength of the two currencies, the economic and political situation in each country, and the interest rates set by their central banks. The exchange rate is constantly fluctuating throughout the day as traders buy and sell currencies in the foreign exchange market. Now let's look at some examples of how the exchange rate is used. When you travel to a foreign country, you will need to exchange your currency for the local currency so that you can buy goods and services there. For example, if you're traveling to France and the exchange rate is 1-to-1.5, then every 1 euro you have is worth 1.5 US dollars. So if you want to buy a croissant that costs 2 euros, you would have to pay 3 US dollars for it. Another example is if you live in the UK and you want to buy something from an online store based in the US, you will need to pay in US dollars. However, since the UK uses pound sterling as its currency, you will need to convert your pounds to dollars using the current exchange rate. If the exchange rate is 1-to-1.3, then 1 pound is equal to 1.3 US dollars. So if you want to buy something that costs 100 US dollars, you would have to pay 76.9 pounds for it. It's important to be aware of the current exchange rate when doing business with other countries, because it can affect the cost of goods and services. For example, if you're importing goods from China and the exchange rate is 1-to-7, then every 1 US dollar is worth 7 Chinese yuan. So if you're paying 100 US dollars for goods from China, it will only cost 700 Chinese yuan. But if the exchange rate changes to 1-to-5, then 1 US dollar is worth 5 Chinese yuan. So the same 100 US dollars will now cost 500 Chinese yuan. So that's what the exchange rate is and how it works. I hope this was helpful and you learned something new today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and see you next time.